So in last class, guys, we have very clearly studied that there are two types of a question. That is this type and what type. And there are two structures of a question. What are those two structures? That the questions are direct. And second is when some information is given to you in the question. So in the last class, the questions that we have solved, there were very little information that were given to you in the question, but sometime it may happen a very firm information or a very hard information may be given to you in the question. And that is a moment when you get confused exactly how to approach such type of a problem. So imagine I'm trying to do question number 5. Can you please take and do question number 5? So this is a question where some information is given to you. Can you please take 2 minutes for this question? So today we'll exactly see how do you use the information while you are solving the statement. Can you please try question number 5? Take 2 minutes, please. So what are you doing over here? It says that xy plus z is an odd integer. This information is given to you in the question. Now you have to be very sure that this is information that needs to be used while we are solving the statement. And that's the reason I have told you there are direct type of a question. When the question is pretty direct, we need to think on the question before we get into the statement. But when there are some information given to us in the question, we 100% need to use that information while we are solving the statement. Now, how do we use it? So this is a place where it's a tricky one because it's a very hard information that is given to you. Till now, the question that we have solved, it says if P is less than Q, Q is less than R, and all these stuff. But this is the information which is given to you in terms of an equation. See here. It says that xy plus z is an odd integer. The question says xy plus z is an odd integer. And they've told you that xy z is an integer for sure. And now they're asking you, is x an even one? Option number 1 says xy plus xz is an even integer. And option number 2 says y plus xz is an odd integer. So this is a question, guys, which you would not, if this question comes in your exam, you will not like to leave these questions at all. Because you will be thinking the question is pretty simple. They're asking you, is x an even integer? But if you do not know how to approach the question, trust me, you may invest your 10 minutes of time in the exam and you will not get a confirm answer. If at all you get an answer, it will be a very wavering opinion, very wavering answer. You take a set of a number. So if at all you take some numbers, you are screwed up royally because you have to ensure that the number should satisfy the information that is given to you in the question. 100%. Number should satisfy the statement Because statements are true, what we have read in the last class. We absolutely cannot challenge the statements at all. So that number should satisfy the statement as well. And then again, you go ahead and prove that is X a even number or odd number. But it looks to be a very easy question, but it'll take a good amount of time, trust me. So how exactly you approach such type of a problem? Please understand the information that is given to you. Is this in terms of equation? Is this an equation term or not? That xy plus z is the odd integer. This is the equation. Statement number 1 is what? It is in terms of equation. Statement number 2 is also in terms of equation. That xy plus xz is an even integer, y plus xz is an odd integer. So please be extremely sure this is not only for inequality. This could be this particular concept could be used in any type of a problem that you are solving. It may be a number system problem. It may be absolute value question in any technically in any DS question. So if information is given to you in the if an equation is given to you in the information and the equation is given to you in the statements as well, please understand how do you use this particular information while solving the statement. So we are very sure that this information needs to be used while solving the statement for sure. So in terms of equation, guys, your job is nothing. Your job is to just solve these two equations. That's it. Do not do anything else at all. So when it's given to me xy plus z is an odd integer, it is given to me in the question that xy plus xz is an even integer. Now imagine if I say xy plus z is an odd integer. Now how do I solve these two equations? Solving those two equations, solving any two equations means what? You try and bring the complexity of equation down as much as you can. I see that there is a xy here also, there is xy here also. Can I subtract the entire term? This is negative, this is negative. So xy gets cancelled. What do I get? Xg minus z. Even minus odd is what? 4 minus 3 is 1. So even minus odd is always odd. Simple logic. So now I know that xg minus z is odd. If I take z common, I get x minus 1 is odd. The product of two numbers are odd when a and b is odd. Now I know that b is odd. It means x minus 1 is odd. Product of two numbers could be only odd when a and b both are odd. Just you think about it. Multiply any number. 3 into 3 is 9. 5 into 5 is 25. Only when you multiply both the numbers are odd, the product of the number would be odd. So here z has to be odd, x minus 1 has to be odd. And if x minus 1 is odd, x is equal to what? Odd plus 1. So x is an even number. Straightforward, sufficient. If you get into numbers dilemma, trust me, it's one of the tough, it's a tough problem. It's a question of 700, 800 for sure. And if you take numbers, you are screwed up. And this is one concept which can be used in any type of a problem of a data sufficiency. If you see that there is information that is given to you in the question, that information is in terms of equation. Statements are in terms of equation. Your job is to close the eyes and solve both the equation, because we are very sure that information needs to be used while we are solving the statement. Information given to us in the question is not to beautify the questions for sure. Now come down to option number 2. It says y plus xz is an odd integer. What is given to me? Xy plus z is an odd number. Now, if I go ahead and solve these two equations, if I subtract, nothing is being cut at all. Now, I love adding. If you want to subtract, you subtract. That's absolutely okay. If I add this, what do I get? Y plus xy, g plus xg. Odd plus odd is what? 3 plus 3 is 6. So odd plus odd is even. Now, if I take y common here, I get 1 plus x. If I take g common here, if I get 1 plus x. And that is actually even. Simple. So if I take 1 plus x common over here, I get y plus z. And this is even number. Agreed? So product of two numbers are even when this could be even, this could be even, you will get an even number. When this could be odd, this could be even, you will get an even number. When this could be even, this could be odd, you will get an even number. So what we get from here, that 1 plus x can be even. If 1 plus x is even, x is what? Even minus 1, that is odd. But 1 plus x can be odd also. If 1 plus x is odd, x is what? Odd minus 1. That is x is equal to even. So I'm getting x can be even also, x can be odd also. So I can say this statement is not sufficient. Is there any problem in this concept? Please ask. Sanchi, clear? Rajesh, clear?
Yeah. So Rahul, I just have one
Please
confusion.
Tell me, Ritu.
So, like, how can we make a decision to not use numbers for such
No,
problems? Like,
because yeah, that's what I was telling you. Because see, there is an equation that is given to you, Ritu, right?
okay,
XY plus Z is the odd integer is nothing but a sort of equation, right?
yes,
There is an equation that is given to you in the information. Now there is a equation that is given to you in the statement as well, right? And
yes,
what we have learned that if there is information that is given to you in the question, that information needs to be used while solving both the statement. That information is not to beautify the question, right? Now this
yes,
information is in terms of equation, and your statement is also in terms of equation. So this information that you see over here, Ritu, this is in terms of equation. And there are three variables involved in it, x, y, and z. The statement also, what is given to you in statement number 1 and statement number 2 is also in terms of equation, right?
yes.
So please
Okay.
don't use number. It's not that you should not use number. You can 100% use the number. If one who is a real mathematician who plays with the number, he will never solve a question in this way. He will always take numbers and solve it. But initially to take numbers, because if at all you take number, those numbers should 100% satisfy your information, because you can't challenge the information that is given to you in the question, right? And the same sort of a number should 100% satisfy the statement as well, Ritu. Because statements are true, informations are true, what is given to you in the question, you just can't challenge neither the information nor the statements. So you have to 100% sure that you take a set of a number where your statement satisfies, where your information satisfies, and then you see that x is even or not. That's the whole point over here. And imagine if you take a set of a number where you get that statement is satisfying, information is satisfying, and you are getting x as an even number, you will be 100% tempted to take one more set of a number. And again, it will be a simple waste of time in the question, because in exam, you will not get more than 2 minutes. And if you do not use this information while you are solving the statement, it will be really, really tough. And it's pretty simple. The information that is given to you is in terms of an equation. The statement that is given to you is in terms of an equation. So how do you use? I 100% know that I have to use my information with the statement. And if there are two equations, I ask you to combine, what exactly you try and do? You simply try and solve those two equations, right? Is that agreed, Ritu?
Yes, Rahul, understood.
So imagine based on this, there is exactly same questions in inequality. Come down to question number 27. Try question number 27, please. Should not take more than 1 minute at all. We have just discussed this. So say there is information given to you. Is this information in terms of an equality equation? This is the info that is given to you in the question. The question is straight away asking, is R greater than T? Option number 1 is what? T is greater than S. Is this also in terms of an equality equation? So we have to be very sure, guys, that this information needs to be used while we are solving the statement. It's as simple as it is. So how do I use this information? Imagine T is greater than S. And what is the information given to me? R plus S is greater than 2t. Now, how do I solve two equations? Either I add and subtract, do whatever you want to do. It's absolutely fine. But ensure that try to get R greater than t. So imagine if I add it, R plus S plus t greater than S plus 2t. Can I cancel S and S? Can t goes that side? R is greater than 2t minus t. R greater than t. This is sufficient to answer the question. That is straightforward. It is as easy as it is. But you have to identify very properly what sort of information is given to you. If information is in terms of equation, statements are in terms of equation, your job becomes super easy. You just have to solve those two equations. That's it. Absolutely fine. Nothing else needs to be done. And this is valid for any type of a question. It's not only inequalities, even in absolute value, even in number system, for that sake, even in arithmetic words problem. If they're asking you a question in form of a data sufficiency, there are some information that is given to you in terms of equation. Statements are in terms of equation. You 100% know that this information needs to be used while we are solving the statement. Close your eyes, just solve those two equations, that's it. And same thing I'll do for option number 2. Option number 2 says R is greater than S. What is my information? R plus S is greater than 2t. I'll add these two. So I get 2R plus S greater than S plus 2t. I can cancel this S and this S. So 2R is greater than 2t. I can cancel 2 and 2. R greater than t. Even this is sufficient. So answer is D. Is that clear? Anyone, any doubt? I hope it's very clear.
So,
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah, please tell me.
so even if we get the answer with option number 1, we still have to solve the second option.
Yes, absolutely. Because once you solve statement number 1 independently, and if let's say Prashanshana, this is sufficient, you
Yeah.
have to solve statement number 2 also independently and say that this is sufficient or not. If this is sufficient, answer is D, because D says each statement alone are individually sufficient to answer the question.
Okay.
Agreed? But if any one of these statements are sufficient, you will never combine the statements at all. Combination of a statement is only done when you are very sure that option number 1 is not sufficient, option number 2 is not sufficient. Agreed?
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Ankita, Rajesh, Ritu, is this clear? Is this problem?
Yes.
Now, can you please try doing question number 19? Now, in 19 also there is information given to you in the question, but again, it is exactly not in the same type. Now, here, this is a place where you can't solve it. So, can you please try doing it? Just try. I'll do it. I'll come in 1 second. So, what exactly you are doing over here? So what exactly were you are doing over here? Because you 100% cannot at all try and combine this information and try and solve this. Try and solve this. This is not that type of equation, because in the information there are two inequality sign given to you. In option number 1 and 2, there are one inequality sign given to you. But I'm 100% sure that this information will come into our use when we when we go ahead and solve the question. But how? That's the whole point. So see over here, it says is v greater than 0? There's my question. What does information says me? That mv is less than 0. So solving option number 2 is super easy. Mv is less than 0. It is given to me in the question. Statement 2 says that m is negative. Can I say v 100% has to be positive? Sufficient. Because if mv is less than 0, m and v are of opposite sign. It is given to you in the question that m is negative. Then v has to be positive for mv to be negative. Can I say this is straight away sufficient? Please tell me. Whichever options looks easy to you, you can 100% go ahead and try doing that option. Any doubt? Anyone, any
No,
doubt?
Rahul,
Please
it's
tell me.
clear.
No, sir.
Shaurya, is this clear?
Yes, Rahul.
Perfect. Now, obviously, now we have to think a lot that how I use this particular information to solve statement number 1. By the way, guys, this was my GMAT question in the exam. Exactly same variables, but long way in 2012. So it says MV is less than PV is less than 0. How do you play up with the information over here? Tell me. Can I say from this particular information that MV minus PV is less than 0? Tell me. Is this right or not? You can take any number. Let's say minus 10 less than minus 9 less than 0. Can I tell minus 10 plus 9 is still less than 0? Because minus 1 is less than 0, technically. Magnitude of MV will always be greater than PV, right? The point is it's a negative term. So higher the magnitude, lesser the value. So can I 100% come down to this conclusion? Yes or no? From the particular information. Agreed?
Rahul, by magnitude, you're meaning the coefficient only, right? So we'll take the
Not
lesser value
magnitude,
of the...
not coefficient. In the sense magnitude, any value of MV. Any value of MV. You take minus 10, minus 9 less than 0. Is that very clear to what is the statement written over here?
Yes, yes.
So plus 9 will come this side, it will be negative. Minus 10 plus 9 is negative 1, which is less than 0. So can I 100% confirm that MV minus PV will always be less than 0? And now you see, take V common, M minus P is less than 0. It's straightforward. Now that is A cross B is less than 0. It means AB less than 0 means A and B are of opposite sign, right? Now M is less than P. Can I say M minus P is less than 0? From statement number 1. So if M minus P is negative, V has to be positive, right? Because I know that M minus P is a negative number. And I know from the information that V into M minus P is less than 0. It means one has to be positive, one has to be negative. You know that M minus P is negative, then V has to be positive for this equation to satisfy. So I can say sufficient. D is the right answer. Anyone, any doubt? Shaurya, Prasanjana, any doubt?
So no doubt.
If you don't go ahead with this, then what you need to do is that you need to take the numbers. Like when I solved in exams, I solved it by taking numbers itself. I didn't go ahead with this method. So what exactly, how you take the numbers, that is also something that needs to be seen upon here. So it says that M is less than P. And what is the information it's saying me? That MV is less than PV is less than 0. Now it says MV less than PV less than 0, M less than P. Can by looking into the question and by looking into the information, can I actually find out one thing, that M and P are of same sign and V is opposite sign? Because if I say V positive, V will be positive here also, here also. Now, if V has to be positive and PV has to be less than 0, MV has to be less than 0, then it should be M and P only that is negative. And if I say V negative, V will negative at this place also and this place also. M and P has to be positive for MV less than 0 and PV less than 0, right? So just by looking into the information in statement number 1, can I tell one thing for sure, that M and P same sign and V is of opposite sign? So what I can do over here, Imagine it says m is less than p. I'll take some positive number. Let's say m is equal to 5, p is equal to 10. And I can take v as a negative one because I know that if I'm taking m and p positive, v has to be negative in order for mv and pv to be less than 0, right? So now you see 5 into minus 1 because you have taken these numbers. Now these numbers should also satisfy the information that is given to you. Because if it is not being satisfied, then you are not supposed to take such numbers at all. Now see here, 5 into negative 1 less than 10 into negative 1 less than 0. Is this possible in math? This is nothing but minus 5 is less than minus 10 is less than 0. No. Minus 5 is not less than minus 10. Minus 5 is greater than minus 10. So this condition is not possible in math. Now what would I do is that I'll take m and p as a negative value, v and a positive value. So imagine I take m as minus 10, p as minus 5, and let's say v is equal to plus 1. Because it says that take a value where m is less than p. Now I've taken minus 10, p as minus 5, v as 1. It's absolutely fine. Minus 10 is less than minus 5. Now I need to see if my information is satisfying or not. So minus 10 into 1 is less than minus 5 into 1 is less than 0. That is minus 10 less than minus 5 less than 0. Now this statement is absolutely perfectly fine. So for this statement to hold true, this is the only values that we can take where m is negative, p is negative, and v is positive. So option number 1 says that v is positive. So it's up to you. Either you take a number or you learn to play with the information. And if you learn to play with the information, your job would reduce to less than 1 minute, I can tell you. 100%. Okay. Please come down to question number 20 now. Try question number 20, please. All these questions are simple one. Don't we take more time? So all I have just tried to show you where a hard information is given to you in the question. It looks in terms of equations and all. How do you approach such problem? Now this is a S type of a problem, pretty direct question. And if you remember the first class, the very first class that we did, then it's a 1 second question for you to tell the answer. Take a minute, please. So what the answer? Guys, you people have not studied. Tell the answer. Is x greater than y? Option number 1 says what? Right in the first class, I have told you even powers can never be predicted. So if x square is greater than y, can I still say x could be greater than y or x could be less than y? You can take a number to support it. Imagine you take x is equal to 5, y is equal to 4. Can I say 5 square is greater than 4 and 5 is actually greater than 4? Imagine if I take x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4. Can I still say 3 square is greater than 4 and 3 is less than 4? So check here at this place, x square is greater than y. At this place, x is greater than y. X square is greater than y. At this place, x is less than y. So I'm very sure even powers cannot be predicted. Just by knowing that x square is greater than y, I can't come down to a conclusion that x would be greater than y. X could be greater than y, x could be less than y. Not sufficient. Is that very clear? Option number 2 says what? Root x is less than y. If I square both the sides, what would happen? X is less than y square. That is nothing but y square is greater than x. And again, if y square is greater than x, y could be greater than x or y could be less than x. Because even powers cannot be predicted. So this is again not sufficient. Is that very clear? So I know that individually they are not sufficient to answer the question. So now I have to combine. So combination, now this is nothing, this statement number 2 is nothing but y square greater than x. Now combination is what? Combination is just a combination of two equations is what? You need to simply solve those two equations. So option number 1 says x square is greater than y. Option number 2 says y square is greater than x. Can I straight away say x square plus y square is greater than x plus y? Now imagine if I take x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3. Can I say x square plus y square is greater than x plus y? Tell. 4 square plus 3 square. 16 plus 9, 25 is greater than 4 plus 3, that is 7. In this case, x is greater than y. Imagine if I take x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4. If I take x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4, what happens? X square plus y square is greater than x plus y. That is x is less than y. So again, it is not sufficient. I can have x greater than y. I can have x less than y. And still, x square plus y square would be greater than x plus y. So answer is E to it. When 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient, you will try and combine. Look, because it's a type of a problem, your job is to look for a yes or no situation. If you get this, it's fine. It is not sufficient. And I've got that, so the answer goes to E. Is that very clear? Shaurya? Prashanchana? Prashanchana?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Try solving question number 21, please. These are all easy questions, guys. Don't take more than a minute.
So,
Yeah.
if we combined 1 and 2, then definitely x to the square n will be greater than 1.
Perfect. 100% right. So it's a confirm no answer, right? So C is the right answer because it says is x to the power n less than 1. What is the information given to you? N is non-zero integer. It means n is not equal to 0 and also n is an integer. This is given to me. A bit of information is given to me in the question that n is not equal to 0, n is also an integer. The question is asking is x to the power n less than 1. Option number 1 says what? X is greater than 1. If x is greater than 1, x could, from option number 1, I have no idea about n at all. Imagine I take x is equal to 2, n is equal to 1. 2 to the power 1 is what? 2, which is greater than 1. Imagine I take x is equal to 2, n is equal to negative 1. So 2 to the power negative 1 is what? Half, which is actually less than 1. I have a yes situation, I have a no situation. So it is not sufficient. But before you combine Prashanchna, be extremely sure that you ensure that option number 1 is not sufficient for a reason. Option number 2 is not sufficient for a reason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So option number 2 says n is greater than 0. Again, I have no information about x. Imagine if I take x is equal to 2 and n is equal to 1. So 2 to the power 1 is 2, which is greater than 1. I have a yes situation. Imagine if I take x is equal to 1, n is equal to 1. 1 to the power 1, that is 1, which is not greater than 1. I have a no situation. I have a yes and no situation. I can straightforward say these two statements are not sufficient. Now, when we combine this, what happens is? It says n is an integer. It also says n is a positive. Statement number 2 says that n is a positive integer because they say n is greater than 0. Statement number 1 says x is greater than 1. Imagine I take x is equal to 1.1. The least value of x that I could take, 1.1. Here n is greater than 0. I'll have to take n is equal to 1. 1.1 to the power 1 is nothing but 1.1, which is greater than 1. You take any other value of x and n, the value of x to the power n will always be greater than 1. So can I say it's a confirmed no answer? Because if a statement does not give you yes and no situation, it means that a particular statement is sufficient. Here you will always get the value of, when you combine the statement 1 and 2, you will always get the value of x to the power n greater than 1. Always. So I can mark C as my answer. P is x to the power n less than 1. When I combine it, no, it is not less than 1 at all. Is that very clear? Perfect. Question number 22, please. Looks tough question, but pretty easy questions if you understand it. Please take 2 minutes for this question. Think properly. We will discuss it. I'll get water in front.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, option 1 and 2, they are not sufficient, they're non-sufficient, but if we combine them and put the value of x as 6 in the equation, then we'll get the answer as 3x is smaller than 500.
Absolutely. The first of all, the question is 3 to the power x less than 500?
Yeah.
When is this condition possible? Imagine if I take x is equal to 1, 3 to the power 1 is 3. Do not go ahead and start solving this particular question. Always think about the question for sure, because it's a pretty direct question. So until you don't have a thought process in the question, going into the statement is an absolutely waste of time.
Yes.
So question says it's 3 to the power x less than 500. We need to find out the value for what value of it 3 to the power x is less than 500. So if I take 3 square, it is 9. If I take 3 cube, it is 27. If I take 3 4, it is 81. If I take 3 5, it is 243. Just multiply 3 over here. If I take 3 to the power 6, it is 729. So my question is saying that is 3 to the power x less than 500. What would be my question? It says that x is an integer. Every minute information is given to you in the question. Can I actually change my question? Is x less than 6? Because if I prove that x is less than 6, considering x is an integer, it can't be 5.5. It has to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I prove x is less than 6, you take any value of x less than 6 and 3 to the power x is less than 500. So my question is trying to ask me, is x less than 6? Do not concentrate on 3 to the power x less than 500. That will be a disaster. So my question, with the understanding, all it comes at is x is less than 6. This is a simple question. Now, statement number 1 is something, first of all, this is a sort of equation. Let's try and solve this and understand what exactly it is. Can I say this statement is 4 to the power x by 4 to the power 1 less than 4x negative 120? Because e to the power m minus n is what? E to the power m by e to the power n. Simple logic. So 4 to the power 1 is 4. You can remove 1 from here and bring 4x this side now. 4x by 4 minus 4 to the power x less than negative 120. Take 4x common. We'll get 1 by 4 minus 1 less than negative 120. 1 by 4 minus 1 is nothing but negative 3 by 4 into 4 to the power x less than negative 120. What I'm supposed to do now? I'm supposed to multiply negative both the sides and take 3 by 4 on the right hand side. So will I get 4 to the power x greater than 120 into 4 by 3? That is 3 fours. So can I say 4 to the power x is greater than 160? Now, when is this condition possible? 4 to the power 1 is 4, 4 to the power 2 is 16, 4 to the power 3 is 64, 4 to the power 4 is 256. Now, for this condition to hold, x should be greater than 3. If x is less than 3 or x is equal to 3, it is not greater than 160. So I have got 4 to the power x greater than 160. This is only possible when x is greater than 3. So please understand, this entire statement is an absolutely waste. They are just trying to say you from statement number 1 that x is greater than 3. That's it. This is just, you have to solve it and get this value. This entire statement makes no sense because this entire statement is only possible when x is greater than 3. So this is all crap. I can straight away say my question is x less than 6? Option number 1 says x is greater than 3. So if the question is x less than 6, option number 1 says x is greater than 3. I can straight away say not sufficient because x can be 4, which is less than 6. X can be 10, which is greater than 6. I have a yes or no situation. X square is equal to 36 means x is equal to plus 6 or minus 6. If I put x is equal to plus 6, 3 to the power 6 is, sorry, my question is simple. Is x less than 6? If I put x is equal to 6, it is not less than 6. I have a no situation. If I have x is equal to minus 6, it is less than 6. I have a yes situation. So straight away it is not sufficient. Now, when you combine these two statements, what do you get? You get value of x is equal to 6. And what is the question asking? Is x less than 6? Confirm no. Because I have just one single value. X is equal to 6 after combination. And my question is asking, is x less than 6? I can say x is equal to 6. Confirm no answer. So C is sufficient to answer the question. Is that clear? Anyone, any doubt? Shaurya?
No, Rahul.
Sanchi, Rajesh? Anuja?
No, Rahul, it's clear.
Okay. Try doing question number 23. Pretty simple question if you understand. Take a minute.
So
Yep.
if you take option second, then this will definitely be the no answer. Like if x is equal to 2 to the power 35, then x cannot be greater than 10 to the power.
No, you don't have to understand that. It is straight away that's a sufficient answer.
Yeah, the
I
second one is a
don't
sufficient answer.
care. I don't care what is x to the power, what is x is equal to 2 to the power 35. I don't care about this at all. I 100% know that x to the power x is equal to 2 to the power 35 is one single value for sure, right?
Exactly.
And this value may be greater than 10 to the power 10, may not be greater. If it is greater, it's a confirm yes answer. If it is not greater, it's a confirm no answer. Simple logic.
Yeah.
It's not that you just don't know by looking into this that is it greater than 10 to the power 10 or not. Simple. Imagine if the question is x greater than 10. If I say you option number 2 as x is equal to 100, you will straight away mark yes, sufficient. If I say you option number 2 x is equal to minus 100, you will still say this is insufficient because x is less than 10 from option number 2. My question is x greater than 10? Option number 2 says x is equal to 100, you will mark it sufficient.
Yeah.
Either option number 2 says x is equal to minus 100, you will still mark it sufficient because you know that this is one value for sure. This may be greater than 10, this may not be greater than 10. Simple logic, right?
Yes.
So statement number 2, you don't have to think at all because confirm yes, confirm no, you will get either one answer for sure.
Yeah.
So this is sufficient. Think about statement number 1 now.
Sorry, Rahul, can you please repeat the logic of this?
Yeah, so imagine if I say is x greater than 10 and I say option number 2 as x is equal to 100, what will be your answer? Tell me. Can you say straight away confirm yes answer? Sanchi?
Yes.
If I say, Sanchi, statement number 2 is x is equal to minus 100, what would be your answer? Can you still say it's a confirm no answer?
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say you, Sanchi, x is equal to 35 is one single value for sure. Because when you say x is greater than 1, this is called range of x.
Got it. Yeah.
And when you say x is equal to 1, this is called value of x. So this particular value will be either greater than 10 to the power 10 or it will be less than 10 to the power 10, which is none of our business at all.
Clear. Yeah.
So now can you please try statement number 1? Option number 2 is pretty simple. Confirm yes, confirm no does the job. So in option number 1, guys, our job is to compare the numbers. Because imagine if I say the question is x greater than 10? Option number 1 says x is greater than 20. You will close your eyes and you will say it is sufficient. Why will you say sufficient? Because you know 20 as a number is greater than 10. If a number is greater than 20, it has to be 100% greater than 10. So normal logic is this. The whole point is that I technically at this point of time, I don't know that 10 to the power 10 is greater or 2 to the power 34 is greater. So my job is to compare these two terms. So let's say this is 10 to the power 10 and 2 to the power 34. Now there could be a various comparison that you can go ahead and learn from YouTube and all. Absolutely nothing. You should not stick to one type of a comparison that I'm telling you. All I can say is that I prefer to bring the base value as close possible as I can. And be very sure that GMAT would not give you some very unwanted number where you have to think a lot. So imagine if can I do 10 to the power 3 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 1? But these things are explained very beautifully in Vedic maths. You just once go and put in YouTube how to compare these using Vedic math. They tell you some very beautiful logics and all. But 10 to the power 10, can I write it this way, in this way? Because if you remove e to the power m to the power n is nothing but e to the power mn. So 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power 1. 10 to the power 9 into 10 to the power 1 is what? 10 to the power 10, because e to the power m into e to the power n is nothing but e to the power m plus n. Is this very clear? So I can write this term as this 10q into 10 to the power 1. Can I write this 2 to the power 34 as 2 to the power 10 into 3 into 2 to the power 4? Because when you remove the bracket, it becomes 2 to the power 30, and this is 2 to the power 4. That is 2
Rahul,
to the power 34. Yes, Rajesh.
sorry for interrupting,
No,
Rahul.
for sure.
I
Please tell me.
see. I have done this homework 2 or 3 days back, and now I was able to interpret till here. But just I want to understand what I want to understand is 2 to the power 10 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 4. Like this simplification is not as easy as it's
No, I'll tell you.
explaining.
See, this is to the power 30, right?
Yeah, now you're if you're
To the
simplifying, if
power
you're writing it down, it's pretty simple. But uh, if you tell us not to buy heart, but coming to this conclusion, how do we get to it if it's a different if you have
No,
a
the whole
question
point
with
is ki
different values?
what I'm doing, you don't do that at all. Absolutely don't do that at all. You come up with your own logic. Now this is to 10 it is. You put t into 2 to the power 5 to the power 10. This is also one thing that you can put. Now you can put 2 to the power 10 into 5 to the power 10. Here you know that this is nothing but 2 to the power 34, imagine. Until you don't do hit and trial method, Rajesh, you will never understand. When you come up with 2 to the power 10 and 5 to the power 10, you will realize that 5 to the power 10 is something which is not matching to 2 to the power 10. Because now see here, 2 to the power 10 is less than 2 to the power 34 for sure, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I take 2 to the power 10 here and 2 to the power 10 here, so this is equal. I can do 2 to the power 10 into 2 to the power 34 is what? 24.
Yeah.
So this 2 to the power 10 and this 2 to the power 10 is equal, right? Now I have 5 to the power 10 and 2 to the power 24. Now, if at all, now this is a place where you come down and stuck here that how do I exactly get to know 5 to the power 10 is what and 2 to the power 24 is what? So until you don't go and do hit and trial method by yourself, it doesn't happen, Rajesh. You will have to 100% go ahead, do fail here, then do something else. But it's all about exponent rules and all, nothing else at all. What is they are trying to test you over here? 100%. So you will have to do your own permutation combination over here, Rajesh, in these terms, because there is no certain way that you should go. Now, this is what I'm telling you right at this point of time. But it may happen for different question. It may have you may have to take some different value. I prefer to do what my, like when I solve the questions of such type power term, my always preference is to get the value as close as I can get, the base value. So why I did 10 to the power 3 and 2 to the power 10, I'll just tell you, because I know 10 to the power 3 is 1000. This is 3 into 10. I know 2 to the power 10 is 1024. That is 32 into 2 to the power 5 is 32 into 32. So this is 1024. I know that 2 to the power 10 is 1024. And to get this, you don't have to multiply a lot. You know 2 to the power 5 is 32. So 2 to the power 5 into 2 to the power 5, 32 into 32. This will, you will get 1024. That is cubic term. And this is 16. So it's not about that it doesn't come, it will 100% come, Rajesh. Considering you go and do your own hit and trial method, you will 100% realize that within half hour, you will get to know, understand that this is how it is.
Got it, Rahul. Thank you so much. I understood. I came till here, but 1024 simplification, I got stuck there. Anyway, thank you, Rahul. Got
So
it.
1024 is greater than 1000, 16 is greater than 10. Can I come down to a conclusion that 2 to the power 34 is greater than 10 to the power 10? Please tell me. And moment I come down to this conclusion, I can straight away say this is sufficient, because now question becomes pretty easy. Is x greater than 10? Option number 1 says me x is greater than 20. Now it doesn't take you more than 1 second to say this answer is sufficient. Why? Because you know that 20 is greater than 10. But here what we are trying to do, we are trying to match is 2 to the power 10 and 2 to the power 34, what is greater? So after our simplification, we come down to a conclusion that 2 to the power 34 is greater. So this is in 1 second sufficient, and this is anyway sufficient. So D is the answer. But see, these things will only come when you do your own permutation and combination method. Play with the power now. You don't have to get to the right answer at all. But until you don't get wrong, you will not understand what needs to be exactly done. So do whatever you can do from here. 10 is you can do 2 to the power 5. Like I was teaching a guy. He was from Beats Pilani. I think he told me comparison just in 1 second. Ki Rahul, this is how you should do. This is how you should do. And this is in between 2 to the power 34 and 10 to the power 10. Ki Rahul, do this and do this, and you know this is straight away graded. So I'm not able to recall what he has told, but it was a very straightforward calculation that he told me. So please think on such questions. These are the questions where you should 100% bring out your interest. You should not be frustrated at all that you have not got the answer. Frustration should be put apart for sure. But these are a beautiful question that you can think upon. Question number 24, pretty easy one. Please try. So what the answer? It says is xy greater than 0. It means are x and y of same sign. No information is given to you in the question at all. Straightforward question. Option number 1 says x minus y is greater than -2. Can I say x is greater than y minus 2? Right? Can we 100% say this? I have no idea about y at all. I just know anything about y. Imagine if I take y is equal to -1. My job is to what? Please ensure you understand what needs to be done. It's a is type of a question. Your job is to think about yes and no situation. That x and y could be of same sign, x and y could be of opposite sign. And if this thought process is not there, you will not be able to do it very sure. I'm very sure about it. So I know that x is greater than y minus 2, y is equal to negative 1. Imagine I took y, you can take any number, whatever you wish. You take a number from where you are in a position to create a yes or no situation. That's it. I'm taking y is equal to negative 1, why? Because I know that x is greater than negative 3. And if x is greater than negative 3, x can be negative 2, x and y are of same sign. X can be 5, x and y are of opposite sign. Not sufficient. This is when you take x and y, this is same sign. So I have a yes situation, I have a no situation. Straight away, there is nothing to think in the question. If you exactly know what question is asking you to do, your entire purpose in this type of a question is to create a yes or no situation. And these are not values given, these are all range given to you. Imagine second says what? X is less than 2y minus 6. If x is less than 2y minus 6 means what? Can I say? I can take any number, whatever number you want to take based on your convenience you take. I'll take y is equal to, let's say, 4. Can I say x is less than 4 into 2, 8 minus 6, 2? If x is less than 2, can I say x can be equal to 1? X and y are of same sign. If x is less than 2, it could be minus 5 also. X and y are of opposite sign. So this is same sign, this is opposite sign, not sufficient. It's straightforward equation. Nothing to think at all, I'm trying to say you. Absolutely straightforward. So this is not sufficient. Imagine now it is not sufficient, we approve. Now these are two equations. I have straight away said while combination of two equations, our job is to just solve those two equations. There is nothing else that needs to be thought at all. These are in form of an equality equation. So my job is to simply solve it. Just ensure that when you are solving an equality equation, keep it same sign. And I am very convenient to keep it greater than less, greater than sign always. I'm not that big fan of a smaller than sign, but you can keep it same sign. So option number 1 says what? X minus y is greater than negative 2. Now it says x minus 2y is less than negative 6. If I multiply negative in option number 2, what happens? Negative x plus 2y greater than 6. If I now add this, what happens? Y greater than 4. If y is greater than 4, take some values of y. Take say y is equal to 5. Put it in statement number 1. If you put y is equal to 5 in statement number 1, x minus 5 is greater than minus 2. That is nothing but x is greater than 3. If y greater than 5, y is greater than 4, x is greater than 3. Both are of same sign. I can say sufficient. See, it's all about how you think on the question. Question, do not simply feel that question is just this and straight away we move to the statement. If you straight away move to the statement, you will be trapped for sure. Be very clear what needs to be done and understand it's a is type of a problem. So go ahead and create a yes or no situation. That's it. My entire job is to create a yes or no situation the moment I look into is type of a question. In any data sufficiency question, it doesn't matter which chapter it is from.
Sir?
Yeah.
So how do
Tell
we
me.
know from the question that the x and y, they are of same sign?
No, this is my question asking me.
Asha,
This is
Asha.
question asking is xy greater than 0?
Okay.
So my job is to do what? To prove that they are of same sign, because I prove both positive, positive, it will be greater than 0. I prove both negative, negative, it will be greater than 0. So this is
But
a thought process that you should have while you are solving the question. Am I
means
able to prove this or not?
okay, 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 okay.
So when I did statement number 1 alone, see that it says x minus x is greater than y minus 2. Why I took y is equal to minus 1? It is for my own convenience that if I take y is equal to minus 1, x will be greater than negative 3. And if x is
Okay.
greater than negative 3, x is negative 2. Can I say x and y are of same sign?
Yes.
But if x is greater than negative 3, x can be 5 also, Prashanshana. Can I
Yes,
say they are
yes.
of opposite sign? So this
Yes.
is the entire thought process that you should have while you are solving the question. Else it makes no sense at all. Else you simply
Okay.
keep doing something, simply keep practicing something. Even if you practice 1,000 questions, nothing gonna happen. You practice 100 questions, but practice with a proper sense as to what needs to be done.
Okay, okay.
Try question number 25. Please take 2 minutes. Do not get scared by looking into the question. It is absolutely easy one. Take 2 minutes, please. What the answer for this? So again, it's a pretty easy one. It says xy are integers and xy does not equal to 0. Is xy less than 0? So x and y are integers, pretty simple information given to us. Xy does not equal to 0. What does this mean? That x and y is not equal to 0. Means neither x is 0 nor y is 0. This is the simple information that is given to you. And now they're asking you, is xy less than 0? It means what? Are x and y of opposite sign or not? Simple logic. Now it says option number 1 says what? Y is equal to xq into x minus 1. I can't take x is equal to 1. Why? Because y will become 0. Simple logic. And they have already said that xy is not equal to 0. So please respect the information. But now if you know that y is equal to xq into x minus 1, now it's all up to you. Think the value of x and see what is the value of y. Imagine if I take x is equal to 2, I don't have to care about y value, but can I say y is 100% positive?
Yes.
If I take x is equal to -1, can I still say y is 100% positive? Check.
Yes, sir.
-1, -1, -2. Here it is -1 into -2, y is positive. So x
Yes.
and y are of same sign, they are of opposite sign, not sufficient. Simple logic. Now come down to this equation. Now it says y square. If I take y square common, I have x square minus x minus 12 greater than 0. Now it is a and b greater than 0. I know that a is 100% because y square is always positive. So y square as a term is always positive. We can't challenge that at all. I know that a is greater than 0. It means b has to be greater than 0 because ab is greater than 0, right? So b is what? X square minus x minus 12 is greater than 0. If you factorize this, what happens? You will get x minus 4 into x plus 3 greater than 0. If you factorize this, this is the equation that you will be getting. It means what? X minus a into x minus b greater than 0. X is less than -3 or x is greater than 4. So x can be a positive value, x can be a negative value. Very clear? And why I know that y square is 100% positive, but y can still be positive or negative. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me. What we have done in statement number 2, I got to understand that x could be negative, x could be positive. I got to understand that y could be negative, y could be positive. I can straight away say not sufficient. Tell me any problem.
I have a problem.
Yeah, please tell
So
me.
so if I option number 1, if I take x as negative, then y will be positive, and if I take y as negative, x as positive, then y will be negative. I solve the
No,
equation.
let's imagine I take x is equal to 2.
So
So
if
2
I
minus 1 is
so,
you can take a value. Doesn't matter at all. If you take x is equal to half, y will be a negative term.
yeah,
I'm not saying that at all. But our job is what, Prasanjana? To create a yes or no situation, right? And
yeah,
if I can create it, it is not sufficient. I can take any values to create a yes or no situation. You are open to take any values to create a yes or no situation. Because your purpose of solving a statement is what, Prasanjana? To create a yes or no situation, right?
yeah.
So I have created it in front of you. X
But
is positive, y is positive, x is negative, y is positive.
so when I solved from option 1, I was getting
So whatever you were getting, that is 100% fine, Prasanjana. But what you get is not the final answer. Your job is to think also. No?
yeah.
Your job is to 100% think that if at all you can create yes and no situation, you will have to create. Why not?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So what you have thought is 100% fine, but you have to think a bit more, Prasanjana. And your entire thought process should be, am I getting a yes and no situation or not? If you are completely, absolutely fine, for no value you are getting a yes and no situation, you are getting only no or only yes, it means now you are in a position to go ahead and say, okay, this is sufficient.
Okay.
Agreed?
Okay.
And now combination is pretty simple, guys. Do not try and combine these statements, these equations, or else you will go mad. These are already in fourth power term, cubic term, is y square, all the place y square. What I get from option number 2? Do I get any confirmed value of x and y that they are positive or negative? No. Y can be positive, negative from option number 2. X can be positive, negative from option number 2. Option number 1, again, I have no idea about the value of x. I can take any value of x, x as positive or negative. So even if you combine these two statements, you will end up getting nothing at all. So E is the right answer. Agreed? Question number 26 is, guys, something which I want that you 100% try. You people do whatever you want to do. I don't care. But please, please, please try it by yourself. If it does not happen, we'll solve it in the next class before doing the absolute value. But I can tell you one simple, but a lot of people in this question go ahead and try with the statement. I can just give you a bit of explanation to this. But this is a very nice question to solve it by yourself. Imagine option number 1 says what? If I square both the time, it says x is greater than y square. I know even powers are not predictive. If x is greater than y square, x could be greater than y, x could be less than y. Is that very clear? Or should I explain you with the numbers? Imagine I take x is equal to 10, y is equal to 1, y is equal to 2. Can I say 10 is greater than 2 square and 10 is greater than 2? Imagine I take x is equal to 1 by 3 and y is equal to half. Can I say 1 by 3 is greater than half a square? But 1 by 3 is less than half. Simple logic. So if x is greater than y square, so see x is greater than y square, x is greater than y over here. Check, x is greater than y square, x is less than y over here. So even powers cannot be predicted. I can say option number 1 not sufficient. Straightforward logic. Even powers are not predicted, be very sure. In such cases, when you look into the question, x is greater than y square, nothing is given to you about x and y. Absolutely nothing is given. You can 100% use the logic. Even powers are not predicted, say not sufficient. It's straightforward. Here it says xq is greater than y. You will have to 100% check it. Imagine I take x is equal to 10, y is equal to 1. 10q is greater than 1 and 10 is greater than 1. Simple logic. Imagine if I take x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. 2q is greater than 3, but 2 is less than 3. Again, I cannot confirm anything about x and y. X could be greater than y or x could be less than y and xq will still be greater than y. Check here. xq is greater than y, x is greater than y. xq is greater than y, x is less than y. Simple logic. I can say not sufficient. Now, you have 100% proved that these two statements are not sufficient. I hope there is absolutely no confusion over here. Just taking numbers and doing it. How do you combine this statement? I'm just telling you, I'm not going ahead and combining it. You have to do it by yourself. X is greater than y square and xq is greater than y. If I combine this, what happens? X plus xq is greater than y square plus y. Now tell me, y square is what? I'm just telling you the logic. Y square is what? I'm not talking about y. Please be sure I'm talking about y square. Y square is some positive number, right? Imagine I take y square could be what all number? It can be 2 square, that is 4. It can be 3 square, that is 9. It can be 4 square, that is 16. It can be 5 square, that is 25. These are the value of y square. Agreed? Anyone doubt? Any doubt? It says x is greater than y square. Take a value of x greater than, like, imagine I take y square is equal to, let's say, 4. Take a value of x which is greater than 4. I'll have to take x is equal to minimum 5 for sure, or 4.1, whatever, because it is not mentioned that they are integers. But just to make the question simple, if I take y square is equal to 4, can I take x is equal to 5? Tell me this. I'm not comparing between x and y. Option number 1, because my question is asking, is x greater than y? If I look into option number 1 independently, it says x is greater than y square, I can say x is greater than y or x could be less than y, not sufficient. But now I'm not playing with x and y at all. I'm trying to say you in option number 1, it says x is greater than y square. I know that y square is always a positive number. I've taken so much y square terms. I've assumed one number, let's say y square is equal to 4, x is equal to 5, because it says 5 is greater than y square. So 5 is greater than 4. Imagine if 5, you have taken y square is equal to 4. What is value of y? Y can be plus 2 or minus 2. Doesn't matter at all. You take any number, doesn't matter at all. Absolutely does not matter. But now you put this equation over here. 5 plus 5q is 100% greater than y square. Y square is what? 4 plus y. Y is what? Either you put plus 2 or you put minus 2. It does not matter at all. 5 plus 5q is actually greater than this. Take any value, it just does not matter. So option is C. But again, guys, I'll explain you again this question for sure. But it is a homework question for you. If you want to take it by numbers, you want to do it by numbers, just do it by numbers. I have nothing to say. I've proved with the number, statement number 1 alone is not sufficient. Statement number 2 alone is not sufficient. While combination, if I take number, you will literally go mad. I'm telling you, you will literally go mad if you take the numbers. So you have to logically understand how to combine it. So please look into this question for sure. We can 100% discuss this question again before starting the absolute value in the next class. So now come down to a bit tougher problem. It's not tough, I would say, but good problems. Come down to question number 2. Can you please try, even if you have done it, doesn't matter at all, but take 2 minutes and draw it again, please.
Sir,
Yep.
sir, I have a doubt. Over
Yes,
here,
please
it's
tell me.
given that x is positive. So
Hmm.
if I take the value of x as 2, then the equation does not satisfy. X square is going to be 4. 2x is going to be 4. So
So
4
I'll make you
cannot be.
understand the question. I'll make you understand the question. It says that if x is positive, imagine.
Yeah.
If x is positive, which of the following could be correct value? Could be means what? So there are two questions that could be asked in GMAT. One is could be and one be must be.
Okay. Okay.
There's
Okay.
something called must be correct value and there's something called could be correct value. So if you miss this could be, you will end up doing things wrong.
Okay.
If x is
Okay.
positive, which of the following could be correct ordering of 1 by x, 2x, and x square? Simple. Now there are
Yeah.
3 orders that are given to you. This is order number 1,
Okay.
this is order number 2, and this is order number 3.
3.
All you have to find out that for any one value of x, it is given to you x is positive. For any one value of x, this order satisfies. That should be taken into consideration. Now
Okay.
you are taking
Okay.
x is equal to 2, but someone else can take any number. So you have to look for a number that for any positive value of x, is there any number which satisfies this order or not? Simple logic.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Yes, right.
Sir, the answer is B, 1 only.
Okay. Take 2 more minutes, please. So that's what the finding value is tougher at this place. But take some time more. Answer is 1 and 2 both. Now think why. Now, can you please get me the values? That is the whole point. I'm telling you the answer. Answer is 1 and 2 both. Answer is D.
Yeah, sir, answer is D, 1 and 2 both. I got confused between the signs, the smaller and the greater ones. If I take the value x as 3, then x square is going to be 9, 2x is going to be 6, and 1 by x is 1 by 3. And
No,
same
Matt.
as
So 9
option...
is not 9 is not less than 6, no matter. You can't
Oh,
take this value.
oh, I'm doing... I don't...
Think. Take your time. No rush. Take your time. When I'm giving you time, it means this is a nice question.
Rahul, just give 2 more minutes, okay, please?
Please. I'm not doing anything right now.
Rahul,
Yeah.
I think I'm not getting the approach only of this question, because how can any positive value ka like
But the point is,
square?
it says ki just x is positive. It doesn't say you integer, Prachi. So it means
It,
you should take fraction. Imagine if I take x is equal to half. My option number 1 suffice or not? 1 by 4 is less than 1 is less than 2.
understood. Okay,
So
that's where, yeah.
they just say positive. They have not told you integer at all.
Integer or not. Okay.
Absolutely not. No, Chirag. 4 by 5, if you take for option number 3, check. Is that happening? I don't think so. Check for option number 3. I don't think so. 4 by 5 would also happen for option number 2.
The whole answer is
Yes.
D. Yeah.
So see here, imagine. Now, how do you get the number? It's very easy to get a number for option number 1. I straight away took x is equal to half. And you can get, you should understand that x is not an integer, it is given to me. But the point is, how do you get to understand the number? Can I solve this particular equation? Simple logic. Let's try and solve this equation and then understand if at all what could happen. So if x is positive, this is my first equation is x square is less than 2x is less than 1 by x. Simple logic. So can I solve this? So can I break this into two parts? X square less than 2x or 2x is less than 1 by x. Simple logic. Now it is given to me x is positive. I can do all the operations. I can cut, cross, multiply, everything. So if I cut this, x is less than 2. Or if I cross multiply this, x square is less than 1 by 2. X square less than 1 by 2 means x is less than 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 is what? X is less than 1 by 1.4. If you remove point, this is 0. So x is less than 0.7 something. Now imagine, after when I solve this statement number 1, I have got x less than 2, I have got x less than 0.7. What is the common value? X is less than 0.7, right? And that's the reason when we are putting x is equal to half over here, this was satisfying. If you put any value here less than 0.7, this entire equation will satisfy. There's a huge number of value. You put 0.6, you put 0.5, point half, we put it satisfied. You put 0.4, you put 0.3, you put 0.2, you put 0.1. This equation will satisfy for sure. Now you don't have to check. If you have got a common value, it means there is one value which will satisfy this equation. Being x is positive, I'm telling you. Now second statement says x square is less than 1 by x is less than 2x. Let's solve this now. So can I say x square less than 1 by x is one term, or 1 by x is less than 2x? So if I cross multiply this, x cube is less than 1, that is x is less than 1. If I solve this, what do I get? 2x square greater than 1, because x goes that side, 1 is less than 2x square. It means nothing but 2x square is greater than 1. That is x square is greater than half. If x square is greater than half, it means x is greater than 0.7. Now please understand, what is the common value? X less than 1, x greater than 0.7. Can I say x lies between 0.7 and 1? Now you put 3 by 4 into this equation. This equation will 100% satisfy. And because 3 by 4 is nothing but it is 0.75, and 0.75 lies between 0.7 and 1. So there are multiple values again over here which will satisfy this equation. What are those values? 0.71, 0.72, 0.73, 0.74, 0.75 to all the way till 1. So if you put 3 by 4 is nothing but, and I don't never want you to play in points. It's always better you play in fractions itself. Always better play in fractions, don't play in points. I'm just telling you, x lies between 0.7 and 1. So if I take 3 by 4, I put this into a statement number 2, 100% this statement will satisfy. Check. Because your one logic was very good. You're very good, Sanchi, that if x is positive, so please, Sanchi, if you take a positive number, you 100% know this equation will not satisfy. You 100% know this equation will not satisfy. You 100% know even this equation will not satisfy. If you take some numbers and all. X square as a number, if you take an integer, will never be less than x. So that is a place, Sanchi, when I should not even think about numbers. Now I should play with the fractions itself. That's it. Whether it be a proper fraction, maybe an improper fraction, that doesn't matter. And when I look into option number 2, now I'm looking into statement number order number 3. So my order number 1 and order number 2 are 100% sufficient for one value because we have a common value. Now look for order number 3. It says that 2x is less than x square is less than 1 by x. So if I solve this, it is 2x is less than x square, or x square is less than 1 by x. So can I rub this and say 2 is less than x, or x cube is less than 1. That is x is less than 1. Here x is greater than 2. Now check x less than 1, x greater than 2. X less than 1, only this term will satisfy. X greater than 2, only this term will satisfy. So there is no common value x greater than 1 or x greater than 2. There is no positive value of x that exists which will satisfy this entire order. If you take x less than 1, this order will satisfy. X square will be less than 1 by x. I can 100% tell you by seeing into it. And if you take x greater than 2, this order will satisfy. But there is no any one value of x which will satisfy this entire order. Chirag, is this clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
answer should be D, 1 and 2. So please, this looks to be a very tough problem because we are trying to solve, but trust me, this is not tough problem. Tough is when you start thinking on the numbers by yourself, because it is a could be true question. Now imagine if this question would be a must be true question, what could be the answer? None of them. Because in must be true question, for any value you take and this order should satisfy. For any one value, if this order does not satisfy, this will not be the answer at all. In a must be true question, any value that you take and the order should satisfy. For one value, the order does not satisfy, that should not be in the answer at all. Agreed? So come down to question number 4 now. It is
Rahul, in that
yeah.
case, for that question, option A should be selected, right? Because just
Nahin.
based on one value,
Yeah. If it is a must be true question, then A.
okay,
But
Rahul,
it is a
thank you.
could be true question, so D.
Yeah,
Because
then
1
it's
and
fine.
2 both are sufficient. Because
Got
in
it.
could be true question, if any one value of X satisfies the order, that should be taken into consideration. Agreed? Anyone, any doubt? Shaurya, is this clear? Ankita?
Yes, clear.
Anuja? Prashanchana, is this clear?
Yeah, sir, it's clear.
Perfect. Try solving question number 4. Now, this is a question that can be solved in 20 seconds. And if you do any stupidity, you may take 2 minutes, you may take 5 minutes as well. So please, it's all up to you. So see here. Now this is a 20-second question, I'm telling you. 20 seconds. It says X is greater than Y square. I've told you if X is greater than Y square, what I've told you? X could be greater than Y possible, X could be less than Y possible, right? Because if X is greater than Y square, we can't predict about X and Y, right? Absolutely. Even powers are not predictable. So if X is greater than Y square, which is given to me in the question, that if X is greater than Y square is greater than Z to the power 4, which of the following must be true? So if x is greater than y square, simple means x could be greater than y, x could be less than y. X greater than y, possible. Statement number one. Again, the statement says could be true. It means any value. So if x is greater than y square, there are values for which x is greater than y. There are values for which x is less than y. They are not asking must be true question. So x greater than y, possible. This equation is possible. See here, x less than y, absolutely possible. X greater than y, absolutely possible. You can straight away mark answer in. Because it is a could be true question, it is not must be true question. And in a could be true question, if x square is involved, even powers are involved. And we have read that even powers cannot be predicted. If even powers are involved, it is a could be true question. You can close your eyes and select all the possible options that are available to you. Every particular term is possible. I'll give you a simple example for one or two term. Now you can 100% ask me, ki, Rahul, y square is greater than z4, but please understand y square is greater than z4 is again a even power. If y square is greater than z4, I don't care at all. Even powers just cannot be predicted. Be very sure. So if y is greater than z4, y can be greater than z or y can be less than z. I don't care it at all. This is 100% possible. And you see here, y greater than z, absolutely possible. Y less than z, absolutely possible. Y less than z, absolutely possible. No issues at all to say why it is not sufficient. 100% all are sufficient. But if you want to confirm how it is possible, then you can 100% take some number. I'm just taking a number for one or two. Again, I have told you, do not, I myself is a huge favor ki don't solve questions by taking numbers. Solving it algebraically is always good. But there are some questions. Now, if you can 100% ask me, Rahul, why, how can you say even powers are not predicted? I've told you already. I've actually told it in the first class itself. But still, I can prove it. Now, imagine this statement is given to you. It means you have to take a number for this statement suffice. Imagine I take x is equal to 100, y is equal to 5, z is equal to 1. Can I say for these number x is greater than y square is greater than z4? Tell me. Absolutely fine. 100 is greater than 25 is greater than 1. 1 to the power 4 is 1. Simple logic. Now come down to option number 1. So can I say now see 100 is actually x is actually my statement is my information is satisfied. Now see my statement number 1 is also satisfying. X is actually greater than y and y is actually greater than z. I've thought of a number for which my information suffice and my statement also suffice. Let me come down to option number 2 now. It says z is greater than y is greater than x. Imagine I take z is equal to half, y is equal to 1 by 3. You don't have to do all these things. I'm telling you, your job is to understand even powers are not predictable. You can straightforward go ahead and mark answer. Imagine I have taken this number, z is equal to half, y is equal to 1 by 3, z is equal to 1 by 4. But again, whatever number you should take, statement, information and statement should 100% suffice. Now see, my information is what? X is greater than, I'm taking x is equal to. Now see, 1 by 4 is technically greater than y square, that is 1 by 9. 1 by 9 is technically greater than 1 by 2 to the power 4 is 1 by 16. Check. Is this very clear? Yes or no? Now you see the number that we have taken g is technically greater than y, that is 1 by 3. And y is technically greater than x. Statement number 2 also comes into picture now for these numbers. For these numbers, statement number 2 also comes into picture. Check here. So you don't have to do all these things. You have to 100% believe because nothing, there is no reservations in the question. It's a completely unqualified support who has made this question as given to you. Full, you can assume anything. They have told you if x is greater than y square is greater than which of the following must be true. Nothing is given about x and y. So moment I see if x is greater than y square, I can 100% come down to a conclusion that x could be greater than y or x could be less than y. The question is could be true question. It means I'm completely independent to take any value and check. 100% this will suffice. X is greater than y. X is less than y. 100% this will suffice. X is greater than 100%. You can close your arm, mark answer to 20 seconds. That's it. And these things are important for you to know. Is that very clear? Now come down to question number 5, 6. Question number 7. So question number 7 we have not done, right? Look into this chat. I think Rajesh has written. Question number 7, right?
We have not done.
Now, question number 7 is a probability question, guys. But I'm just changing this question actually. The question says is probability that the marble chosen red is greater. So question is R greater than W? Option number 1 says R over B plus W is greater than W over B plus R. I have desperately put these questions over here because there's a bit different way to solve this question. Bit difference than what we normally solve. And B minus W is greater than R, because you should know all this stuff. The entire purpose of you putting a different type of a question is that you should be aware of how to solve question. I don't care that you get right or wrong answer. But when you look into the question, do you know exactly how you are going to approach it? And that's the reason I've tried my best to keep as many different type of a problem, one or two from here and there, so that it's good for you. You will know exactly. Can you please, now the question is simple. This is a question. Is R greater than W? And there are two statements given to you. Can you please try doing it? Take 2 minutes. Now all the questions are time pass question. All. Whatever I wanted to discuss, I wanted to come to question number 2 after a long moment, because by the time you should have known inequality as well. If I made you do question number 1 and question number 2 directly, none of you will continue in the second class with me. So what exactly you are doing here? Now you can do all the permutation combination and you should 100% do. You can't, so you can cross multiply everything, because please understand these are these are marbles, these are balls. They are not some variables. So this is not positive, negative. Don't think that this is variables and all. They are always positive because they are red ball, white balls. You can cross multiply, it will not work. You can bring this entire thing on the left hand side, it will not work. What would work exactly? And it's very simple. Tell me, if I add plus 1 on both the sides, will my numerator become same or not? Think about it. If I add plus 1 on both the sides, will my numerator become same? Yes or no? Option number 1, this side will be statement number 1 will become R plus B plus W is by B plus W is greater than W plus B plus R greater than B plus R. This is a communicative property, and all these things communicative, associative property. We have studied in class 8, 9, 10th, I think. If you add plus 1, and why we are adding plus 1 on both the sides? Just to ensure that my numerator becomes same and it becomes easier for us to solve the question, because now I can cut this. That's it. And I can cross multiply. B plus R is greater than B plus W. I can cut B and say R is greater than W. Sufficient. But to come down to this simple thought process of adding plus 1, you will have to do multiple stuff. You will straightforward, first of all, cross multiply and check. You will feel that you will get no conclusion. You bring you bring this entire stuff on the left hand side and start doing your calculations. You will still get no conclusion. But it doesn't mean if you don't get any conclusion, it is not sufficient. Absolutely no. There are 3 variables involved over here: R, B, W, W, B, R. And if I add plus 1, I see that my numerator gets same. And once my numerator becomes same, because these are not variables, these are all balls. These are always positive. So you can straightforward cut it, cross multiply, B cancel, R greater than W. Option number 2 says me that B is greater than W plus R. And what is my question is R greater than W. It is impossible to find the relation between W and R. Imagine 10 is greater than 2 plus 5. Imagine 10 is greater than 5 plus 2. So 10 is greater than 2 plus 5 and 10 is greater than 5 plus 2. Just by knowing that B is greater than W and R, you can't create a relation between W and R, right? Because it could be 2 plus 5, it could be 5 plus 2, so not sufficient. I don't know what is W is greater than R or not. So A is my straightforward answer. Is that very clear? Now these are all time pass questions, all. Absolutely. Now question number 9, you should do it from here. Wait, let me open the file. Because I have not taught you key concept 15. Why I have not taught you? Because, one second. So point number 15 and question number 9 is exactly the same. 1 second. So now, first of all, take 2 minutes of time. I'm giving you a good amount of time, so don't worry. Now we are done. There are 2 more questions. Point number 15 and question number 9 is exactly the same. So before you attempt question number 9, take 2 minutes to think on point number 15. I think it's visible to everyone, right? Think on point number 15 and then think on question number 9. And let's do it. I'll just come. Point number 15 is understood or not? It simple says that if there is any fraction a by b, imagine you take. These are the whole point is that this is not a property at all. This should be understood by individual by themselves. But still it has been mentioned it over here. So it becomes a bit easy for you, right? There is a fraction a by b, imagine you take a fraction a by b, whereas it is a by b is 3 by 4. Now here what a is less than b, right? These are not a thing to be taught, guys. These are the thing that you should know by yourself. So a by b is 3 by 4, where a is less than b. Now, if they say you add any positive element, x is equal to 5 in both numerator and denominator. Let's say 3 by 5 plus 4 by 5. What is the resulting value you are getting? 8 by 9. Agreed? Now, this resultant value would be greater than the actual fraction. What was the actual fraction? 3 by 4. If a is less than b, be very sure about it. Now, imagine I take a fraction a over b is equal to, let's say, 4 by 3. Now there is a element x is equal to 5, which I add on numerator and denominator both. So let's say 4 plus 3 by 5, 3 plus 5. What is the value you are getting? You are getting it 7 by 8, right? How did I get 4 plus 5? 3 plus 5 is 8, 4 plus 5 is 9. Here I have taken.
You have to add 4 plus 5, right? On the
I'm so
numerator.
sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what I was thinking. What I've done. 4 plus 5 and 3 by 5, it is 9 by 8. So this resultant value is less than the actual fraction, that is 4 by 3. Actual fraction is what? 4 by 3. So if A is greater than B, and if you add the same element in numerator and denominator, the resultant value that you get will be less than the actual value, that is 4 by 3. If A is less than B, and you add a value in fraction in both the numerator and denominator both, the resultant value that you get is 3 by is greater than the actual fraction. What is the question? And be very sure everything should be positive, guys. This A by B should also be positive. It should not be negative. If it is negative, then you will have to think about yourself. You have to do it and check by yourself. So here it says m is greater than 0, n is greater than 0. Is m plus x over n plus x greater than m by n? It is given to you m and n is positive. When is this possible? Only when m is less than n and x is greater than 0. So m less than n, x greater than 0. See. Any problem here? Tell me. The question is simply asking you, is m plus x over n plus x greater than m by n? This is my question. Now, what we have studied, I should know everything should be positive. It is given to me in the question, m is positive, n is positive. You know, this is only possible when m is less than n and x is greater than 0. Now, this is what they are telling you. And this is what point number key concept, point number 15. So there should be no problem here at all. Is that very clear? These are all time pass question, guys. These are all something that you need to aram se sit and think on these things. Question number 10. Pretty easy question, I'm telling you. Don't get into the language. Let's see. Fast, so that we do at least two, three problems, unseen question, so that you exactly get to understand how to approach it. what's it's pretty straightforward question, guys. Nothing to think. See here, number x and y are not integers. They have given you x and y are not integers. The value of x is close to which integer? The value of x, they're asking us to find what is the value of x. Is this very clear? Anyone, any doubt? The question is what type they're asking you to find the value of x. Agreed? Now, please understand in GMAT, 1.5 will always round, not in GMAT, in any competitive exam. 1.5 always rounds to 2. If you have to round off 1.5, you'll round it to 2. If you need to round to 1.4, it will round to 1. It's not GMAT, it's anywhere. Anywhere 1.5 always rounds to 2 only. And 1.4 will round to 1. So see, 4 is an integer that is close to x minus y. What do you mean by this? 4 is an integer that is close to x plus y. You know that x plus y are not integer. Can I say x plus y lies between 3.5 and 4.5? But it can be greater than, x plus y is greater than equal to 3.5 to 4.5. Because if x plus y is 3.6, if it is 3.7, if it is 3.8, if it is 3.9, and if it is 4.4, 4.3, 4.2, 4.1, what all these numbers will round to? It will round to 4 only, no? Check. 3.6 will round to 4, 3.7 will round to 4, 3.8 will round to 4, 3.9 will round to 4, 4.4 will round to 4. In fact, 3.5 will also round to 4. 4.3 is also round to 4, 4.2 will round to 4, 4.1. They are trying to say you option number 1, 4 is integer that is close to x plus y. It means, can I say x plus y lies between 3.5 and 4.5? Is this 100% agreed? Very clear? But what is the question asking me? What is the value of x? Do you think option number 1 gives you the value of x? No. Because they are saying you x plus y lie between 3.5 and 4.5. I can straight away say not sufficient. Because x does not round to, because I'm not getting the value of x at all from here. What is option number 2 saying you? That 1 is the integer that is close to x minus y. So can I say x minus y lie between 0.5 and 1.5? Again, my job is, if you take 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, all this will round to 1. If you take 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, all these things will round to 1. But what is my question? That what is the value of x? X is close to which integer? I don't know. So this is not sufficient. It's straightforward. Now, if I combine, guys, what happens? Option number 1 is not sufficient, 2 is not sufficient. Why? Because we don't know anything about x. We are given x plus y and x minus y. If we add this now, combination, 2 equations combination, how we'll do? We'll simply add and subtract. And if I add, what will I get? I'm seeing that y is getting cancelled. I get 6. Sorry, I get 4. 3.5 and 4.5 is 4. I'm adding these two. I'm getting 2x less than 6. If I divide this entire equation by 2, what happens? Not equal. X is less than equal to 2 and less than 3. Imagine value of x can be 2.1. It is close to integer 2. But value of x can also be 2.9. And this is close to integer 3. So this is not sufficient. I had to find value of x. Look into the question properly. Question says the value of x is close to which integer? Now value of x, when I solved both the equations, I got x lies between 2 and 3. But if x lies between 2 and 3, x can be 2.1. Right? And if x is 2.1, it will be close to integer 2. And if x is 2.9, this will be close to integer 3. So value of x is close to which integer? I'm getting two values of x. X can be 2.1, close to 2, x can be 2.9, close to 3. So I say not sufficient. E is the straightforward answer. Agreed? Now please understand question number.
Rahul,
Yeah,
sorry
please
to
tell me.
just 1 minute. I don't know whether this is the accurate procedure, but if you just equate both the equations and closest to 4 and 1, you're getting x value is 2.5.
But
But
2.5, if you close to, I didn't understand.
I mean x plus y is equal to 4 and x minus y equal to 1. And if you're doing that way, I
No,
just
but
want to know if,
why would I say x plus y is equal to 4?
I mean, closest value just to solve. That's not the right approach, right?
Absolutely no.
Okay.
Because they are telling you x and y are not integers.
Yeah, right.
So when they are telling you x plus y, if 4 is integer that is close to x plus y, it means x plus y can be between 3.5 to 4, 4.5. Because now you have taken all the values of x plus y. X plus y can be 3.5, it could be 3.6, it could be 3.7, it could be 3.8, it could be 3.9. This could be 4.4, 4.3, 4.2, 4.1. All these values are close to 4.
Yes, Rahul, understood. Thank you.
We are considering all the numbers. So question number 12 is exactly the same. Please try doing it by yourself. 100%. It is exactly the same as what we have done. It's just the language is different. So these are all time pass questions, but you should understand all these language properly. And that's the only reason I put this question, so that you get to understand the language. Now, so I think it's almost done inequalities completely. But again, guys, please ensure, see, the way you go ahead with the inequalities is, the first thing is that handout every question should be very clear. And when I say you hand out every question should be very clear, it means I tell you to go ahead and do all the questions before you come for the class. Do all the, and it's gonna be same for all the chapter. Do all the questions before you come for the class, because you have all the videos available at your place. You do this with me in the class. And I want that once, please go and do it after the class as well, because all I'm trying to say, okay, these are the questions which gives you a very beautiful concept of how you approach a problem. You simply go ahead and start approaching an unseen problem, you will have no clue to what needs to be done. It may be the easiest of easiest question. So your job is to ensure that first, there are some problem which is tough. If you feel that leave it, please leave it. I'm not bothered about it. But all I want that do hand out till the time you can do all questions by yourself, by without looking into solution, without looking into videos, absolutely nothing. All the questions, if all the questions are done by you alone, but that is a place. Now you go ahead and do some unseen questions. Now imagine, I'll forward you some questions. 1 second. I'll forward it to you after the absolute value. But I'm just trying to put some questions over here. Some extra questions where it is. Give me 2 minutes. Now see, there are some very easy questions, but if you do not follow the process, you will go mad. I just wanted to do some 3-4 questions front of you so that you know exactly how to approach the problem. One second. So I'll send you this handout complete. But after absolute value. So see, there are lots of inequalities and absolute value questions are given to you. Now questions can be pretty simple, but it's all about how you approach the problem. So imagine if I have to do question number 4, how do I do it? Please take 2 minutes. Just see how exactly can this be attempted. Try doing question number 4. Try doing question number 5 is pretty simple, but you can do 5. Or don't do 5, do 6. 6 is point and only with. Do question number 8 after 4. Then do question number 10. Now these questions are pretty easy, but if you do not follow the process, you will 100% do wrong. I'm telling you. Try it, attempt all these questions, please. 4, 8, and 10. Take 5 minutes. It should not take more than 3 minutes, by the way, but still.
For the fourth one, option B is sufficient. Hello?
What the answer for 4 number? So see, 4 number says what is A greater than C? That's my simple question. Now, obviously, let's not think too much into the question because it's a S type of a problem. There are two separate variables. I don't have to bring it one side right now. So option number 1 says B is greater than D. Absolutely not sufficient because it doesn't talk about A and C at all. Is that very clear? Perfect. Now come down to question number 2. It's option number 2. Now it says that A square minus B is greater than B square minus C and D. What can you do from here? You don't understand anything, right? Bring it one side. Let's say, can I do AB square minus B square C greater than B minus D? Is this clear? Moment I take B square common, what do I get? A minus C greater than B minus D. Is this very clear? But obviously from here, I don't know what is A and C relation. I can straight away say this is not sufficient. But now look into option number 1 and look into the question also now. It says here A minus C. Can I say my question is asking is A minus C greater than 0? This is my question, is A minus C greater than 0, right? I can change the question now. Because I see that I'm getting a term here A minus C. My question is A minus C greater than 0? What is option number 1 trying to say you? That B minus D is greater than 0. Option number 1 says B minus D is greater than 0. Is that very clear? It means if I combine both the statements, do I know that B minus D is positive number? Can I say this? Please tell me. Because option number 1 says me B minus D is greater than 0. So it means B minus D is a positive number. It means, can I say B square into A minus C is greater than 0? And B square is always a positive number, always. So for this A, this is A and this is B. AB is greater than 0. It is given to you A is greater than 0. It means B should be greater than 0. And what is B? A minus C is greater than 0. That is A is greater than C. Sufficient. It is C. So these are pretty simple question, guys. It's all about how you have to think. A straightforward equation. So you have to bit think, but please understand these thought process will only come when you are 100% clear with all the questions that we have done in handout. Handouts are pretty important in terms of you getting the concept. Imagine we had to do question number 8. Now this is question number 8. What is your answer? Anyone who has done it? Question number 8. Now there is a bit of information that is given to you. If, say, question number 8 says, if root xy is equal to xy, what is the value of x plus y? My question is to find value of what is x plus y. Perfect. Now this is given to me. Simple logic. Statement number 1 is what? X is equal to minus half. Statement number 2 is what? Xy is not equal to 0. You have to find value of x plus y. Now please understand there is a bit of information, guys, given to you. Now this information needs to be analyzed very properly. If we don't analyze this information, it makes no sense at all. The whole point is there's an information given to you. This information needs to be analyzed. So what exactly I get from this information? Now let us solve this information first. So if I square both the sides, what will I get? Will I get xy is equal to x square y square? Can I say bring it that side and say x square y square minus xy is equal to 0? That is xy into xy minus 1 is equal to 0. So it says a and b is equal to 0. A and b equal to 0 means what? Either a can be 0 or b can be 0. So I can say either xy is equal to 0 or x plus y minus 1 is equal to 0. It means either xy is equal to 1. So this entire information says you nothing. This is trying to say you that xy can either be 0 or 1. This is what we have got by solving. See here, xy is either 0 or xy is equal to 1. Now, if you do not understand this, imagine. So there's a way to think ahead. There's a lot of things that can be done. It is all about how you think. Please understand, till now we have not used any formula. Nothing at all. So now you say xy is equal to 0 or 1. What do you mean by this? Now, if when I have squared the term, this is the information that I have got. I have got xy is equal to x square y square. Now tell me for what values of x and y LHS will be equal to RHS? Only when you take x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. So see, 0 is equal to 0. Or you take x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. Check. 1 is equal to 1. There is no other value in the world you will be able to take where xy is equal to x square y square. It is only equal when x and y are either 0 or 1. Is this very clear? Tell me. Is this 100% clear or not?
Yes, Rahul.
So this is the information that is given to you. So you should not go mad by looking into this information. Sometimes question will look square term, root term, a lot of things, but you have to be very confident to approach a question. You know how to approach a question. You should know that. If there is information given, understand what is the information. So from this particular information, this is all crap. They are just trying to say you in the question, if xy is equal to 0 or 1, what is the value of x plus y? This is given to you in the question. Option number 1 says what? X is equal to minus half. If x is equal to minus half, I can, so from here, I can 100% sure that x can be 0 or y can be 0. X can be 1 or y can be 1. So if x is equal to minus half, I can take y as 0. So x plus y would be what? Minus half plus 0. That is minus half. I can also, I have a liberty because it is given to me in the question that y can be equal to 1 also. So in this case, if I take y is equal to 1 from the information, what do I have x plus y? It is given x is minus half. Minus half plus 1. What do you get? Again minus half, right? Is that clear? Is this clear or not? Please tell me.
Yes, Rahul.
What is not being understood? Oh my God. Hey, listen. You people are, wait one thing. You people have completely, do one thing. Let's not do this. Let's first ensure that you cover the inequality well. Oh my God. You people are so quiet, man. Do one thing. Inequality as a chapter that we have done in handout. Please work on it. You have any issues, ensure that you WhatsApp me 100%. Even if I'm taking class, I'll ensure that after the class, I'll straight away call you. But please be very sure. Let's not get into the unseen problem. You people are going mad for no reason. I don't know why. Ensure that each and every questions of handout should be very clear. So your job is, tomorrow is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days you work on inequality handout. Please, please, please. You have any issues, just let me know. Just WhatsApp me. Whenever I'm free, I'll call you, and I'll 100% call you within 2 or 3 hours. It's just that when I start a class, because on weekdays there's a one-on-one class keep going, and between two classes I have a 1 hour gap for sure. So you don't have to worry about me. Just WhatsApp me. This is a place which is not understood to you. I'll ensure that it is very, very clear. So your first job is to ensure that make inequality extremely, extremely clear. Handout, and then I'll tell you how to do unseen problem. Do not worry at all. It will happen. But until this handout is not very clear, this will not happen. And guys, these are the only questions that gonna come. Be very sure. The questions can be very easy, but if you don't know how to approach a problem, you will end up taking a lot of time. You will simply feel that this is tough. But in the handout also, I can tell you, except like 35 questions. And question number 35, I have not done. That is a 20-second question I'm telling you. Except in 35 question, except I would say 5 to 6 questions. Things are pretty simple. Except 5 to 6 questions, I'm telling you. Max to max, you can take 10 questions, which will require your brain. But rather, after that, things are pretty simple. It's all about that. Be very sure the question can be is type, the question can be what type. In is type, your purpose with every statement is to create a yes and no situation. If you can create, it is not sufficient. If you can't create, that is sufficient. In what type, you should get a unique numeric value as an answer. Then comes that if it's a direct question, do think on the question. If there is some information that is given to you in the question, think on the information before you get into the question. Be very sure that what information is trying to say you. That should be 100% very, very clear. If that is not clear, it will be a problem for sure. Understood? So that should be 100% very clear. So just ensure that your inequality handout is taken care of, and please tell me in the next week. So next week, what we are doing is an absolute value chapter. So this is one chapter where you don't have to look, where you don't have to touch pen and paper if you understand this chapter conceptually. And trust me, this is not a chapter at all. This is just one single concept. If you read any book of maths, this is explained just mod x is equal to plus x. If x is greater than equal to 0, mod x is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. That's it. This is the concept of this entire absolute value. So no book will have a chapter called absolute value. Absolute value is this simple concept in algebra. The purpose of creating this as a chapter is that if you understand this absolute value concept properly, I can promise you there is not one single question of absolute value for which you will have to touch pen and paper to solve the question. But if you do not understand this chapter, trust me, this chapter can make you literally cry. Tears will start rolling down over your checks. I can 100% promise that. So this is a very simple concept, but very confusing concept, extremely confusing. And in inequalities in algebra, if you do in place of plus x, if you write minus x, everything is wrong. Be very sure. To get wrong, you don't have to do conceptually something very wrong. You do plus and minus, and this is more than sufficient to ensure that everything is wrong what you're doing. So in absolute value, what happens that signs of variables are extremely important, and that will not be understood till you understand this as a whole concept. And that's the only reason I've created this as a chapter. I could have straight away put some questions of absolute value and inequalities, made you solve and move on. But that's not how it works. This is one of the most important chapter, because if you understand this very well, I promise you don't have to touch pen and paper to solve any questions of absolute value or entity. Any question, it doesn't matter at all. But if you do not understand, the easiest questions of absolute value can create a huge problem in the exam. And be very sure in GMAT, if you do easy questions wrong, and easy questions are also a bit tricky one. If you do easy questions wrong, the penalty is huge, high penalty. For one question, they'll deduct your 30, 40 points. If you do tough question wrongs, it's absolutely not a matter for GMAT. They don't care about it. They just don't care about it. You do tough questions wrong, no issues at all. If you do easy questions right, getting 48 and 49 in GMAT is easy. This I promise. But again, for easy questions also, the concept should be 100% known to you now, because when you solve a question, you need to counter check the question. Now, how do you counter check on your question? If you do not know how to solve a problem, then simply solving a problem, even if you solve 1000 problem of inequalities, it makes no sense at all. And there is a way to solve this entire handout. I'll tell you how exactly it needs to be solved. But this is a place where inequalities and absolute value is combined. So I'll send you the extra questions only in the next class after teaching absolute value. And absolute value is one class chapter. So please, guys, I'll send you a video where things are extremely detailed in a very basic way. Please go through it so that we'll be able to finish the chapter in one class. Because the moment you take two class of absolute value, it's gone for a toss. It will not happen that in next class I teach first part in second class. Because inequality, I give time because it requires time for you to think on the problem. I don't know how many of you have done how many problems, but trust me, this was a 3-week time. It means almost 21 days. And if you have not solved at least the handout only 3 to 4 times, that's your problem. I have told you time and again, solve as many times as you can, because this handout will only give you a beautiful concept of how to go and approach unseen problem. Nothing else at all will give you. So until this is not clear, you going and approaching unseen question makes no sense at all. You will simply do it for your own satisfaction that, yeah, I have solved so many questions. Because when you solve unseen question, when you solve these questions, I don't want that you look into the answer at all. You take for one question. Of this was a very easy question. You take for this question. In fact, question number 8 is also very easy, but again, there are some information that is given to you. I want that you go ahead and look into it. It's a pretty simple question. I'm telling you. So in this, like this, let's say there are 100 questions over here. Out of 100, I can say you ki 80 are pretty simple one. Just 20% questions are which are tough one. That's it. So be very sure. And I'll tell you how to do these problems after the next class, after the absolute value, because this combined. So the only problem when you do unseen question that I give you, ensure that you take your time. Take for one question, take for easy questions half an hour. It doesn't matter at all. But if you are able to do it by yourself, I can tell you next ever in your life, you go ahead and do such type of a question. It will be a matter of just 2 minutes. But please understand, it does not happen in a way that one fine day you wake up, you will start solving questions in 2 minutes. It takes some time and you will have to give that time for sure. But before we come into this, I would personally recommend that ensure that handout, every question should be super clear to you. So at least you can till Monday, Sunday, you have Sunday tomorrow, you have Monday, you have Tuesday, you have Wednesday. You can go and work on the inequalities. From Thursday and Friday, till Tuesday, you work on inequalities. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you keep for absolute value. I'll ensure that I keep telling you that to do the previous question, but you have to do, guys. This is the one place where I'm not responsible. Something that needs to be done from your end, it has to be done. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you keep for absolute value. But till Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, please focus on inequality as much as you can. At least do 2 times again, all these 35 questions. And I'm asking you to do it time and again, not that you remember the question. All I'm trying to say is when you look into the question, there should be a complete understanding on how are you approaching a problem. And that comes while practice. You will not be able to solve the questions if you don't practice. That's simple. And to practice also, it makes some sense. It makes some logic that how you go ahead and practice. So if your handout is clear, trust me, things will be very fine. But if your handout is not clear, it will be a problem. So please go till Tuesday, do again the handout. From Wednesday, you start absolute value. I'll send you the mail at night with the video. Is that okay? And don't go mad at all. This is one of the toughest chapters that we are dealing. One of the most trickiest chapter of math. For me, it's very simple to start geometry in the first class and make you people happy. But trust me, now when you can cope up with this chapter, I promise you'll be able to cope up with all the topics of GMAT, all the math topics of GMAT. That is my promise. You will not have one issues anywhere, but I want that you have a good command on this chapter. Let it be number system. It is the most important chapter of GMAT. But if your inequalities is not clear, number system is screwed up. And if you're good in inequality questions, number system will 100% be taken care of. I'm telling you, this is one chapter which will build up your concept for all the chapters. Not only one, not one. The inequality is not specific to its own chapter. It will ensure that all other chapters are covered up. And I can promise you, none of the other class will be so tough as what we have done in the last 3 days. It's all that have a command on this, and we have done 3 weeks, guys. 21 days are not less for one chapter. You can't crib at all. You had to work. And it was pretty simple that you work on the same questions time and again. I myself is telling you, work on the same questions time and again. There should be no issues at all. You should look into the question, and there should be a complete process in your brain that this is how I need to approach it. And then go ahead and approach an unseen question only, then it makes sense, or else it makes no sense. I won't give you a lot of bhasans and all, and I'm so sorry. Just listen from one year, take it out from other year. But this is something which was required. Matlab, this is something which is expected from you, because 3 weeks is no less time. This was the 3rd week and we are doing inequality. 21 days, if you would have done even full time all these questions would have been 100% fine with you. So ensure from Wednesday you have to read absolute value. I'll send you the absolute value email. And please ensure do the entire video very properly. You don't worry, same thing will happen in the class. You just do the video. I promise in class the understanding will be much better. Because if you straight away come to the class of absolute value, you will cry. And that is such an easy chapter. Considering you have a command on inequalities, I personally feel absolute value is a chapter of hardly 1 or 2 hours. If you have a good command in inequalities. So please till Tuesday, ensure that do all the questions again. And from Wednesday, start studying for absolute value. I'll write a proper mail. What are the stuff, how it needs to be done. Okay. And don't go mad at all. It's absolutely okay. This is one of the toughest chapters that we are dealing with. It is very okay to not understand something, to feel it hard. But other chapters will be 100%. I'm promising you, it will be in your command. It will be all easy chapters now. All. Clear? Chalo fir, we'll stop. We'll meet in the next class. Tomorrow is verbal. Tomorrow is a very interesting class. I hope you must have done at least 10 questions. Out of 10 questions, 4 questions so we have already done in the class. So let's meet tomorrow 10:30 a.m. It will be an entertaining class for verbal. We'll start questions tomorrow after finishing the first 20 questions, 30 to 50. Okay. Any doubt, guys? Don't be so sad, man. It's okay. This is one chapter where people cry. But I promise you all other chapters will be good.
Rahul.
Yeah, tell me.
I just have two doubts from the
Please tell me.
Please stay back in the call if you can.
Yeah, please tell me. Others can leave. Please, all of you can leave. No issues at all. We are done with the class. Who has some doubts can stay. Rajesh, tell me.
Rahul, so this question, what you have explained just now, also the 4th question from the different handout, I got the answer, the same one, and I also understood what you have explained also. But what I did was I cancelled both the equations out. I mean, I got b square into a minus c is greater than 0. So that's also fine, right? That way of...
No, you can't cancel because you don't know the variables now. You don't know if the signs of variables are positive. Nothing is given to you, right?
No, I mean, I combined both the options. Like b is like what I'm trying to tell you.
One second. So you did here, you combined what? You did what? It's option number 2, what you did. Option A is not sufficient at all. Leave it.
No. A is not sufficient. B is also not sufficient. So I combined option A and 2. Okay, so I got A, B square minus B square C minus B plus D and...
One second. A, B square minus
B square C minus B plus
square C. Oh, minus B square C minus B plus D greater than 0.
Yeah, and then below I've taken option 1 B minus D. So if you're cancelling,
what I'm cancelling? Tell.
I mean minus B plus B and plus D and minus D.
No, one second. Minus B.
So from option 2, what I'm saying, Rahul, we can take B is greater than D over here now. B is B minus D greater than 0.
You can do AB square minus B square C minus B plus minus D.
Rahul, abhi, see, so now option 1 I have B minus D, and in option 2 we have minus B plus D. So can we cancel those two is my question, that's all.
No, you can't cancel. Oh, one second. Oh, you are trying to, you can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you are trying to add or subtract,
Exactly,
right?
exactly, Rahul.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
not.
You can
Yeah.
do, you can do, you
So
can do.
in that way also
Absolutely.
I got the same answer. So it's a
But see
right
here,
question.
minus, it is B plus D, right?
Yes.
B minus D.
Yes.
100% you can do. Why not?
So I got b
So
square into a
AB
minus c is
square
greater
minus
than
B
0.
square C greater than 0.
Yeah.
So you know that B square is common. A
Yeah.
minus C
So
is
a
greater
minus
than
c
0. B
and
square is
a
common.
minus.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Anything
Thank you,
can be
Rahul.
done.
Perfect.
100%.
Rahul.
You don't have to worry about. That's what the whole point is. It comes to exactly how are you approaching the problem. It's absolutely brilliant way. There is no issues at all here.
Yes, Rahul.
No
And
issues at all.
one last
Yeah.
clarification was I have finished all the three videos before this class, and I have
Ah,
literally written down, or like I used to watch one problem and then I used to copy down the notes also. But
ah,
today, out of like for 10 problems what you have done from the
ah.
starting, I was able to do only 4 or 5 because like it doesn't mean that I'm by hearting or something, no, Rahul.
Absolutely. Do not. Absolutely do not buy heart it. 1 second.